Rick Dicker, File 93718. The files of the National Supers Agency are hereby sealed in accordance with the Superhero Restriction Act, banning all supers activity. These files contain highly classified information regarding the supers, their powers, weaknesses, and in some cases their secret identities. Despite the government's insistence that this ban is permanent, these files should still be treated with the utmost secrecy and respect. Who knows? Maybe one day these kids will be allowed to help people again. I sure hope so.
Do we have to talk about the Thrilling Three? Yes, I was part of that group, and it was well-intentioned, a bit misguided. You know, let's face it, it wasn't really the Thrilling Three. It was really the Thrilling One plus two in Gazer Bean's mind. It was less than thrilling. Less than thrilling, that's good. Well, let's see. I started out in Arizona and then migrated over to Los Angeles, which was great. I had a great long run there. A lot of work to be done. A lot of superheroes see Los Angeles as kind of a launching ground, and to be honest with you, I didn't have a lot of places to launch to from there. The solar-powered thing, it's good for the environment, but it's not so good for me. It limits my ability. It limits my work hours. It makes me look like an idiot if something happens at night. You know, really, it's really hard when it's nighttime for me because I'm a rather social person. I like to dance. I like to go out to dinner, and if something horrible happens, my power's not going on because the sun's not out, and so it can be frustrating at times. Unless evil breaks out at a tanning salon, I'm done for.
I am very independent. I don't need helicopters. I don't need airplanes. I can heat the air underneath me and lift right up, and I don't have equipment. The flames come straight out of me. What a waste. Some superheroes have equipment, and I think that's just a waste. You have to maintain it all the time. I just have my super suit, and that's about it. I like my independence. You know, the N.S.A. knows that I'm very independent, and, a team, surrounding, they do look after me, and which is good and everything. They always have to keep an eye on me. I mean, I don't know why. I only light a couple of things on fire that I shouldn't light on fire. I mean, it's not my fault. I mean, it is very hard to, keep everything under wraps. Sometimes my temper, I can get a little bit hot-headed, but not much. I mean, when I think about things that kind of anger me just a little bit, then boom, the building lights on fire, and then next thing you know it, the hills light on fire, and then Frozone has to come along and cool everything down, and then I have to be grateful and say, oh, thank you, Frozone, I really appreciate it. But, he's really annoying. He thinks he's all that, and I do enjoy being independent. They recognize that, and I love my powers, and, I don't have to carry any equipment on me, and I really enjoy that.
Could you say that again?
Wait, what? Do you want me to say the whole thing again? I thought it was perfectly clear. You want me to go back again, the whole thing? I don't understand. Oh, I am so sorry. I know what the problem is. I keep on forgetting which dimension I'm in. Wait, which dimension am I in?
My powers are atomic density manipulation, ability to reshape matter. Say you have a cut or a boo-boo on your arm, I can probably do something about that. I'm not exactly a Band-Aid. I'm a little bit better than that. I'll actually heal it. So I got my start in a doctor's office, actually. It seemed like a good place to start at the time, but it's pretty boring in there, actually, and I got a little tired of it. The doctors, they didn't appreciate what I was doing as much anymore, and I wanted something a little sexier, than just cleaning up wounds. So I thought I would try this whole superhero thing, see how that went for me. Currently, I'm focusing in on trying to reshape different materials into bicycles. It's sort of a hobby. I'm starting to gain some acceptance within the superhero community. I've gone to conferences and stuff, and at first I started in the back of the room, just sort of as an onlooker. Now I have my own, I have a table I get to sit at now. Some heroes talk to me. Especially if they want a bicycle.
Being a superhero, one of the first things you got to do is figure out what you want the people to call you. I started out, well, let's go with the power. But, forehead ray disintegration guy, that was too long. I couldn't do that every time I went out to save someone. Walk up to a supervillain, it's like, stop, it's forehead ray disintegration man, and by then he's already turned tail and run. So one day I'm having lunch in a local diner, and and I'm really desperate. I haven't thought of a name yet, so I'm just looking around. It's like Fork Man didn't work. How about Spoon Dude, Banana Cream Pie Throwing Man, Black and White TV Guy, Menu Mensch. That didn't work. The Napkin Dispenser Guy. I didn't really want that name, but I see the placemat. It's Ralph's Diner, and thinking maybe Diner Guy. But no, like if my name's Diner Guy, it's like I'm only protecting the diner. When people come in, I defend the diner, and I didn't want to restrict myself to that. Keep thinking Diner Guy. It actually fit together. I thought it had a good ring to it. So we started saying it to myself. It was like dynamite and dynamo and dynamic and dinosaur. They all sort of meant big and powerful, and I just think all those words, they really sounded dynamic, which you put them together and you get me.
When you're a female superhero, getting clothes that don't wear out after a couple of wearings. I mean, after one good fight, I don't want to look like a housefrau, like I'm wearing a burlap sack. So, I've spent so much money. I've been broke trying to put together a good wardrobe for work. And that's just when is this problem going to be solved for me? I can't wait for the day when somebody can put together a good line of action wear. Action wear that will be form-fitting, that will recover after a couple of good days of work, that can really function and has style. Okay, look. If I do a couple of good moves, hold on. If I do a couple of moves like, I'm sorry. Well, if I do a couple of moves like this. I'm sorry. Like that. I mean, look at the underarms. My armpits are like practically down to my knees. This is like very, very unattractive. It's like bagging out around my hips. And I was looking nice before. And now maybe I'm as big as a house in this thing. Hey!
Well?
Is there somebody out there? I mean, is there any good wardrobe designer?
I might know someone who could do it.
Help! I'm looking for a little help here, okay?
Name's Edna Mode. She is a bit tough to deal with, and she won't come cheap.
You know what? I got a good question. How come the N.S.A., the National Supers Association, isn't paying for my action wear, huh?
Just remember to save your receipts.
I don't think you guys want me playing for any other team, do you?
You see, when one is a superhero, there's a certain catalog of expectations that are incorporated with it. Say, the physical appearance. Yes, I stay in shape. Yes, I have the colorful outfit that goes along with it. But you see, what is inside? The perception, the sensitivity, the foresight, and the psychic awareness are what is important and what makes us different. What makes us transcend mere knocking about. Yes, I can mix it up. Oh, I can fight with the rest of them. I can knock 3 people through walls if I have to. But why do that when through the process of the mind you can avert conflict before it happens? I can make you perceive that I'm beating you up without even touching you with rapier intellect. Quite frankly, there are a lot of things that come along with being a superhero, the whacking, the battering, that I find quite unpleasant. And frankly, it's the germs. They're everywhere, and they're so small, and saliva, and blood, and bits of bone, and tooth. There's a lot of supervillains. Frankly, they're not clean people. They don't take care of their hygiene. I mean, you punch a mouth, and who knows what's on you after that. If cleanliness is next to godliness, then ungodliness is dirty. I can deal with a messy psyche, but I cannot deal with a messy bathroom. I mean, why can't people just clean up once in a while and wipe a sink or they leave hair? Don't they see it? Don't they see the scum building up? I mean, it is just a nightmare that you walk into someone's bathroom and they have not touched it in months. We're scrubbing. Are we out of time?
I've had some mishaps as Frozone, but generally I've learned how to take, lemons and make lemonade, And I've been able to do some things for people that, possibly would have turned out quite badly had I not been there. I've gone on vacations with friends of mine who were looking forward to a great ski vacation, and we got there, snow was melting. Hey, I was able to go out and make that happen. I'm like the human Zamboni. One day, I must have been, I don't know, maybe 1.5, 2 years old, and I had a glass of Kool-Aid, and I really wanted a popsicle. And in my mind, I was thinking, popsicle, next thing I know, Kool-Aid was frozen in the glass. I was like licking it, and from that point on, anytime I wanted to freeze something, I just thought about it being frozen, and it was frozen. I was elated. I'm a superhero because that's who I am, If it was possible, I would love to just tell the world who I am and let them know. But then I'd have no privacy. There'd be, babes lined up around my house. There'd be guys calling every day trying to ask for a super favor. You know how that is.
There's always going to be a lot of collateral damage. There's lots of villains, and there's lots of villainous deeds going on at any given time. Part of my job is to prioritize which villains I'm going to combat. So I take a look around. I see if there's any good-looking women who need to be rescued immediately, and then I sort of start from there and work my way down the list. If you've got Tubby Joe Schmo over there with a laser pointed at his head, and he might have to wait in line a little while. Yeah, I've fought my fair share of villains, and they all have their own unique challenges. They got their zombie monkeys and their giant laser robots and their super aquatic ninja pygmies. But I tell you, once in a while, the real kicker is I get these dames, man, these dame villains, and they got the curves and the hair and the big eyes, and boy, those ones, they're really, really hard to kill. Especially the ones that they come up and, and they're looking at you and you're looking at them and you feel that simpatico, like she's digging you and you're digging her, digging you, and boy, you really got to take a jog around the block real quick and, sort of get your concentration back, compose yourself, because, you can't get distracted by these sort of thoughts when you're going up against a super villain. That's one of the hard parts of the jobs, when you come across a dame who's really something to look at, and you just got to let her have it because she's a villain. Yeah, those are the bad days.
I think the question I get asked the most is what happened with the Thrilling 3. It was working fine for me. I have no problem working in groups. I think we were very successful. I think at times we may have been among the best, but a team is just that, a team. And then any time you take individuals and you put them in a contained environment, they tend to react like oil and water sometimes, or peanut butter and chocolate. Although peanut butter and chocolate does taste good together, so that's actually a bad example. I quite enjoy that. I think the thing I get asked about the most, of course, is my laser vision. People tend to think it's a real picnic to have eyes that shoot lasers, but believe it or not, it's had its disadvantages. If I look at anything too intently, it tends to burst into flames, which can be a real pickle in a relationship scenario. When you're conversing with somebody, a normal person would be able to look them square in the eye. I avert my gaze, which is often interpreted as disinterest, or rather daft or stupid, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm a man of culture, a man of passion, and I would say a man of humor, which is not widely known. On the outside, I appear calm and cool, perhaps even collected, but on the inside, I'm guffawing away on the steamship of hilarity. I'm not sure if that made very much sense.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Hypershock. So I have seismic wave generation, which is the ability to create earthquake-like disruptions in the ground to stop the bad guys with my dual seismic amplification hammers on one on each hand. No, I did not buy them at the hardware store, haha. Fly around with my vector thrust fusion rocket rucksack getting from place to place, and my powers are ineffectual and non-solid materials, but if I can get a 6.0 on the Richter scale, I can generally stop whoever's out there and... We gotta talk about this. Hang on. Hey, Irv. Hey. Where's Irv? Coffee. Yes, hello. I need some coffee. Very nice. No, I don't want tea. I want coffee, and put some aspirin in it or something. How about coffee made from aspirin? You know, you people, you just don't do your homework. And look at this. What is this? Cheap. Spend a little money on your gear if you're going to have a super in here, okay? And you, who are you? You know, I could be out solving crime at the very least. We're solving this hangover. Ow! Oh.
Macroburst audio file incomplete. Damaged during mission. Audio file for Macroburst mission recovered, but determined incomplete by N.S.A. Division Delta. Audio file for Metaman found missing. Assumed confiscated during surprise attack by Baron von Ruthless.
You know, some superheroes, they pay attention to their look when they're first breaking in, but then they get a little notoriety, they get a little sloppy. I mean, I don't want to, name names, but okay, the Flange. You remember the Flange? Oh, Flange. I mean, I love that guy. Hey, Flange, you know I love you, and I'm not talking out of school here, but the outfit, come on. I mean, he wore that out, but he didn't even have it cleaned. He had schmutz on it from other battles that he'd fought, and he actually worked on a signature yodel for a year. A superhero yodel. If you can grasp that, I mean... Yeah, I'd see him occasionally, we'd be at the same catastrophe. And he would come up to me, hey, Mr. I. I've been working on it, what do you think? Ooh, I mean, is that disgusting or what? Pull yourself together, Brother Flange, you're representing something here. It was embarrassing, it was a waste of time, and quite frankly, it was denigrating to the profession. Kids cannot look up to a yodeler.
I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. I just, it's kind of off day for me. I blew out the pipes. I was trying to seal off this thing that came out of the water. The villains, they always got those bases and stuff. So the funny thing is I blew out my pipes by blowing out the pipes. You know what I'm saying? It's a little joke, the play on words. Yeah, well, the Thrilling Three. What can I say? That was a good idea. I mean, I'm not sure I really know what happened. People blame me and they say there were these, conflicts. Excuse me. A little dry, but I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, Gazer Beam and I got along fine. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble. It was a democratic situation. It was good. I don't know what people are saying. Excuse me. I like Gazer Beam. He was a good guy. Excuse me.
Audio file for Plasma Bolt erased inadvertently due to Plasma Bolt's electromagnetic aura. Scheduled to re-record.
So in high school, that's when I realized I had the ability to possess other people, to send psychic waves to other people to get them to do things that I really wanted them to do. I had a crush on the quarterback of the football team, who was also my best friend's boyfriend. I psych-waved him into asking me to the homecoming dance and breaking up with Shelley. And the more I practiced it, the shorter amount of time it took. You know, I could just sort of look at someone or look at a picture or see them passing by and think this thought or this action or whatever, and it would just happen. Never really used it to harm people, except for all those girls I made the guys break up with because I wanted to date them. Kind of freaky, actually.
Splashdown audio file irretrievable due to water damage.
There's vapors, kind of gases in the air, and I can take them in. I'm kind of like a sponge in that way. I emit them however I want. I can emit your oxygen, I can emit carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, you know, whatever you need. It really depends on the situation. Say there's a fire, you know, and I gotta save people or whatever. Basically, I can take the oxygen out of the air, and that stops the fire. On the other hand, if there's a bad guy, I just emit the oxygen, and the fire gets a little crazier, and then, you know, bad guys smoked. It's kind of awesome. Because I'm all about gas emissions. Yes, I have been the butt of many jokes. Maybe it's just because I'm too... What? What? Oh, I said butt. I said butt. What do you want? Ha, ha, ha. Oh. It's a good time. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I've got powers. They involve gases. What do you want?
Stratigale's mission audio file deemed incomprehensible. Suspect either faulty recording equipment or a high level of ambient wind noise.
Thunderhead BSA, stay in school, take one.
Hello, kids, this is Thunderhead. I wasn't always a superhero, but now I am. And I didn't graduate. I thought I was trying to tell them to graduate, wasn't I? Hello, kids, this is Thunderhead. Please stay in school, otherwise you'll wind up like me. That's not right. I don't know where I'm going with this. You told me there was going to be a script or something. Well, I don't read. But you were gonna tell me what to say in through the headphones, and you're not telling me anything except go again. Hello, kids, this is Thunderhead. I didn't like school much, but maybe you will, because you probably won't have the same teachers I had. That's not so good. Just aim high, and Thunderhead believes in you. Thank you.
Most superheroes have the alter ego so they can have the so-called normal life. Me, I choose not to. I don't see why I get so much flack for not having an alter ego. I mean, it's supposed to be a secret. No one's supposed to know. So what's the point? So if I take a girl on a date, I'm wearing the costume, sure. They like to bask in the awe of Universal Man. But then we're alone, you know, with the candlelight music and the pericomo and the fragrant oils and things of this nature. Then they come to me and they say, oh, Universal Man, maybe you take off the mask. Maybe we can see who's underneath. There's no one underneath. They would be horrified if I asked them to take off their face. This is what Universal Man wears. This is me. Other than being indestructible because of my high density, I am just like you. And that's when the breakup starts, with the late-night recriminations and the slamming of the doors and the shattering bottles and the things of this nature and the redistribution of the assets and the it's not me, it's not you, it's me. But in Universal Man's experience, it's always you.